learned senior counsel for the appellant, while reiterating the contentions urged before the High Court, submitted that the High Court failed to appreciate that the second para of Rule 49 carves out an exception to the bar created by Rule 49, precluding a full-time salaried employee from practicing as an advocate. The said exception was subject to one limitation, that is, express bar created by rules made by any state bar council in exercise of its powers under section 28 under bracket 2, read with section 24 under bracket 1 of the Advocates Act 1961. Since the respondent has not framed any rule expressly barring such law officers from being enrolled as advocate, the appellant was entitled for enrollment. According to the learned counsel, the High Court also failed to note that it was not a case of refusal of enrollment to a law officer, but it was a case wherein the respondent was stopped from cancelling the certificate of enrollment issued to the appellant by the very respondent as early as on 9 July 1984. Therefore, cancellation of enrollment after almost a decade based on erroneous interpretation of Rule 49 of the Rules of Bar Council of India was unjust. It was also urged that the appellant had placed all the material before the respondent before obtaining his enrollment certificate, and there was no concealment of facts on his part, and that the appellant was discriminately treated. The learned counsel added that the impugned action of the respondent was unwarranted as it amounted to punishment of removal of the name of an advocate from the roll of the State Bar Council as postulated by section 35 under bracket D of the Act without following the procedures. Para. Per contra, the learned counsel representing the respondent made submissions supporting the orders impugned in this appeal. According to him, the appellant was not at all entitled for enrollment as an advocate, having regard to Rule 49 of the Bar Council of India rules in the absence of any enabling provision to all full-time salaried employee for enrollment as an advocate. The learned counsel submitted when the appellant was not at all entitled to be enrolled as an advocate, the action taken by the respondent after lapse of some time is of no consequence, and the delay in taking action in a case like this itself does not give protection so as to sustain the enrollment. He further submitted that there was no discrimination as alleged by the appellant looking to the nature of duties of the prosecutors in the state departments and the appellant. In terms of section 24 of the Act, a person shall be qualified to be admitted as an advocate if he satisfies the provisions of the Act and the rules, if any, made by the State Bar Council, besides fulfilling other conditions as laid down in this section. Even if no rules were framed under section 28 under bracket 2, read with section 24 under bracket 1 of the Act by a State Bar Council, enrollment of a person shall be subject to the provisions of the Act and the rules. On behalf of the respondent number 2, it was contended that no specific allegations against the members of the BCCI or directors of the India Cement Limited have been levelled, and therefore the plea based on conflict of interest was rightly negatived by the High Court. It was maintained before this court that India Cement Limited is a company which is managed through a board of directors, of which respondent number 2 is the vice chairman and managing director, but his holding of shares is only 5%, and therefore it is wrongly to say that the respondent number 2 takes decision without approval of the board of directors of the company. What was pleaded was that India Cement Limited has thousands of shareholders and the company has an independent legal existence from its shareholders, whereas all the decisions regarding management and administration of BCCI are taken by its managing committee, consisting of 9 members, of whom the respondent number 2 is only one of the members, and therefore there is no conflict of interest as is claimed by the appellant. It was further argued that all the decisions of the managing committee of the BCCI have to be approved by its general body, and as there are no specific allegations against the members of the general body to the effect that they were also actuated by malafide in favoring the respondent number 2, the plea based on conflict of interest should not be entertained by this court. Para. As noticed earlier, the learned single judge of the High Court before whom the suits were instituted, as well as the division bench of the High Court, have refused to grant equitable relief of injunction claimed by the appellant. This court is of the opinion that grant of interim relief as prayed for can amount to decreeing the suit without adjudicating the claims raised in the pleadings of the parties. Such a course is not permissible at all. This court has deprecated the practice of grant of interim relief, which amounts to decreeing the suit in several reported decisions. The avertments made in the plaints would show that the final reliefs claimed are almost the same as claimed by way of interim reliefs. Whether the appellant is entitled to equitable relief of injunction or not will have to be decided after several questions raised in the plaints are decided on the basis of evidence which may be adduced by the parties. The questions of law sought to be raised by the appellant are at the best mixed questions of law and facts. As observed earlier, the appellant has failed to disclose certain material facts, nor the appellant has been able to prima facie establish that his legal rights have been violated as required under sections 34 and 41 of the Specific Relief Act 1963. No material is placed by the appellant on the record of the case on the basis of which a reasonable finding can be recorded. Over.